What if the waters surrounding a tiny island suddenly sounded like thunder, the horizon ablaze with missiles, and every radar screen flickered with an endless stream of hostile silhouettes? Imagine a relentless clash where steel-clad giants of two superpowers surge toward each other, each believing the other cannot survive the onslaught. The question lingers, can any side truly dominate the Pacific, or will the sea itself become the ultimate arbiter? The clash began with China's bold push toward Taiwan, its warships slicing through the strait, fighter jets screaming overhead, and infantry trucks prowling the coasts. Supply vessels in the Philippines felt the sting of sudden attacks, while the USS Gerald Ford-type carriers trailed the scene, their massive hulls barely stirring the warm air. The United States and its Pacific allies hastily gathered for joint drills, their sonar pings echoing like distant drums. Yet beneath the surface, a deeper motive fueled Beijing's daring. Over the past 25 years, the People's Liberation Army has morphed from a Coast Guard-only force into a sprawling blue-water navy, propelled by Xi Jinping's vision of a deterrent fleet that would crown China's resurgence. How does raw ship count translate into true power? By tallying vessels, China appears to field more hulls, especially smaller frigates and coastal patrol boats that can swarm the Taiwan Strait's narrow channels. Yet the United States still commands the heavy hitters, air carrier groups, destroyers, and nuclear-powered cruisers, each bristling with long-range missiles that can strike from over 1,000 kilometers away. A U.S. think tank projects that, if conflict erupts, America could launch more than 5,000 anti-ship missiles within the first 3 weeks, a barrage that would dwarf any shoreline bombardment. Could such a missile rain flood the Chinese fleet, or would the sheer number of lighter Chinese ships absorb the blows and press an amphibious assault? While steel battles rage, the invisible war of bites threatens to tip the balance. The United States commands roughly 19,000 cyber specialists spread across 26 active commands and 40 task forces, ready to cripple the enemy's command and control networks with a single keystroke. In contrast, China lags a decade behind in dedicated naval cyber capability, its defense is thin against coordinated electronic strikes. If the U.S. were to unleash a swift cyber onslaught, could it silence Chinese radar before the first torpedo even left the tube? The answer hangs in the ether, waiting for the first digital spark. The final showdown may hinge on sheer firepower and technological edge. The USS Gerald Ford, a floating city measuring 334 meters long and 76 meters wide, carries 75 fighter jets, 4 missile batteries, and 2 600-megawatt reactors that can power 300,000 homes for 2 months. Its deck spreads over an area comparable to 3 football fields, and with a speed of 56 kilometers per hour. It can circle the globe without refueling for 25 years. Opposite, China's Type 055 Renhai cruiser, 12,000 tons, armed with 112 vertical launch tubes, and capable of firing YJ-18 missiles up to 300 kilometers, sits ready to spearhead a new carrier strike group. By 2035, planners expect China to operate at least 6 carrier groups, the newest Fujian carrier boasting electromagnetic catapults and a displacement of 80,000 tons. Will the United States' qualitative edge and missile supremacy drown China's growing fleet, or will the sheer volume and relentless resolve of Beijing's navy finally breach the Pacific Shield? The ocean holds its breath, and the next ripple may decide the fate of an entire region. Earlier we saw that sheer ship tallies tell only half the story. What if the side with fewer capital vessels actually holds the decisive edge? China's fleet is packed with light frigates and coastal patrol boats, perfect for darting through the Taiwan Strait and launching fast amphibious raids. The United States, meanwhile, keeps most of its heavy warships at bay, yet can summon overwhelming firepower when needed. Can a swarm of nimble Chinese ships really challenge a distant superpower? The answer hinges on the next factor. Just now we noted the stark contrast between sleek Chinese corvettes and the hidden might of American missiles. Imagine an onslaught of over 5,000 anti-ship missiles raining down in the first month of conflict. U.S. launch rails number around 9,000, dwarfing China's roughly 1,000 tubes, and each missile can travel well beyond 100 kilometers. Even if Chinese light vessels pepper the coastline, the United States can strike from hundreds of miles away, turning the sea into a matrix of glowing trajectories. But what if those missiles turn their sights toward China's own hidden naval bases? The stakes rise dramatically. Now we turn to the silent battlefield beyond the waves. Could a cyberstrike cripple an entire fleet before a single cannon fires? U.S. cyber units field over 19,000 personnel, organized into dozens of task forces that can jam, infiltrate, or destroy command networks worldwide. China lacks a comparable naval cyber command, leaving its ships vulnerable to digital disruption. Coupled with superior space-based sensors, the United States can locate and lock onto targets with precision. If the digital war begins at dawn, will the surface clash ever erupt, or will one side be forced to retreat before the first shot echoes? The tension in the Pacific is escalating dramatically. As the Chinese military gears up for a potential invasion of Taiwan, it has begun targeting supply ships in the Philippines and putting pressure on U.S. naval groups. This aggressive posturing has prompted the United States and its allies to enhance security measures and conduct joint military drills. The stakes are high. China's growing naval ambitions are becoming harder to ignore. Can the U.S. maintain its dominance in this increasingly dangerous game? In this deepening conflict, a significant factor lies in missile capabilities. Reports suggest that the U.S. Navy could launch over 1,000 cruise missiles at key targets in China during the early days of an armed confrontation. With a staggering 9,000 vertical launch tubes for long-range missiles, compared to China's mere 1,000, the U.S. could overwhelm Chinese defenses with precision strikes. The question looms large: how quickly could these missiles rain down on military bases across China, and what would the aftermath look like? Moreover, the U.S. Navy boasts superior space forces, alongside a robust cyber capacity consisting of over 19,000 personnel ready to act. These forces are stationed throughout the globe, prepared to disrupt and neutralize enemy capabilities in a conflict. The recent missions against potential cyber threats display the U.S.'s preparedness to thwart any malicious actions from adversaries, including China. But how will the Chinese respond if their digital defenses falter under pressure? While the U.S. remains significantly ahead in naval and cyber capabilities, analysts suggest that China is closing the gap, especially in submarine technology over the next decade. The development of advanced warships, such as the Type 055 Renhai-class cruiser, signals China's intentions to challenge U.S. supremacy. Will these advancements tip the balance of power, or will long-standing U.S. superiority prevail in the years to come? As the U.S. and its allies, including the United Kingdom and Australia, plan their strategies, the dynamics of power in the Pacific might shift dramatically. With alliances strengthening under initiatives like AUKUS, the U.S. may hold the cards for now. Yet, as China evolves its naval capabilities, the question remains: are we witnessing the dawn of a new era of maritime dominance or the calm before an impending storm? What if the world's oceans became the ultimate arena, where the faint hum of distant engines decides the destiny of continents? The previous segment revealed how a cyber pact has amplified Allied digital firepower, leaving China's defenses exposed. Now the focus shifts to the hidden depths. The United States commands a submarine fleet unmatched in stealth and range. Experts estimate that this underwater edge will endure for at least 10 more years, perhaps longer. Silent hunters glide beneath the waves, their sonar whispers barely audible. Even if surface forces clash, the abyssal threat guarantees a strategic advantage. Can any navy truly counter such phantom predators? The earlier discussion highlighted the United States' clandestine depth advantage, but what if a single ship could eclipse an entire armada? China has answered with the massive Type 055 cruiser, a leviathan weighing 12,000 tons. Its silhouette looms like a steel mountain, radar panels glinting under the sun. Inside, 112 vertical launch system tubes sit ready, each a throat for missiles that roar across the sky. Land attack cruise missiles, surface-to-air projectiles, and the supersonic YJ-18, capable of striking 300 kilometers away, share this launch pool. The cruiser's phased array radar scans the horizon, detecting faint blips like fireflies. With speed and firepower combined, this warship could rank among the planet's most lethal surface combatants. Yet 8 such vessels sail today, with 2 more under construction, poised to act as shotguns for emerging carrier groups. Will this new class tilt the balance, or will it become a solitary cannon in a sea of rivals? Previously, the narrative detailed a formidable floating gun platform ready to reshape naval warfare. How swiftly can a nation march from a single carrier deck to a fleet that dominates the Pacific? China's carrier journey began 11 years after the first fighter touched the deck of the Liaoning. The second carrier, Shandong, soon performed live-fire drills in the South China Sea, its deck echoing with the thump of cannons and the roar of afterburners. Night launches painted the dark water with streaks of light, while rescue helicopters hovered like mechanical hummingbirds. Days at sea multiplied, matching the endurance of any U.S. carrier operating in the Western Pacific. Now the third behemoth, the Fujian, displaces 80,000 tons and carries 3 electromagnetic catapults, modern launchers that replace the clanking steam pistons of older ships. Trials have begun, and operational readiness is slated for 2025. Planners envision at least 6 functional carrier strike groups by 2035, even though each carrier remains smaller than its American counterparts. This rapid ascent raises a final question: when the tides rise, which fleet will command the waves, and what will be the cost of such ambition? As we continue our journey through the escalating tensions in the Pacific, the stakes have never been higher. In recent developments, China's naval ambitions have reached new heights. The launch of the 80,000-ton Fujian aircraft carrier marks China's commitment to bolstering its naval power. With successful mooring and sea trials completed, the Fujian is projected to achieve operational readiness by 2025. Equipped with 3 cutting-edge electromagnetic catapults, this vessel symbolizes China's leap into modern naval warfare, discarding older technology and fiercely advancing into the future. China's Navy is on track to field at least 6 operational carrier strike groups by 2035. Each smaller carrier may lack the heft of its American counterparts, but collectively, this force could wield significant influence over naval engagements extending as far as Guam. They aim to project power globally, challenging existing naval dominance. Yet, the current state of affairs presents a formidable challenge for China. The United States remains steadfast in its naval supremacy, possessing 11 colossal nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Each carrier can deploy around 80 fighter jets, dwarfing the combined strength of the Chinese fleet. The USS Gerald Ford, the largest aircraft carrier globally, stands as an icon of military might. Stretching 334 meters long and 76 meters wide, equating to a surface area capable of hosting 3 football fields, this floating giant can carry a total of 75 aircraft. Its towering height rivals that of a 25-story building, equipped with advanced missile systems and radar, allowing for a 360-degree firing capability. Imagine the thunderous roar of engines igniting, the scent of salt and metal wafting through the air as this behemoth moves majestically across the ocean. With its cutting-edge laser energy weapon and dual nuclear power plants, the Gerald Ford can operate in international waters for 25 years without the need for refueling, supporting a crew of 5,000. So, what would unfold if these 2 maritime giants clashed in the Pacific? With its superior technology and robust capabilities, the U.S. Navy stands ready to unleash a torrent of firepower, potentially overwhelming China's naval forces. As tensions escalate, the question lingers: can China's rapid advancements rival the immense power of the U.S. Navy, or is it chasing a mirage in the stormy seas of geopolitical conflict? The battle for supremacy is far from over. Each move made by these nations could set the stage for a confrontation that will shape the future of maritime power for decades to come. The tense standoff in the Pacific is palpable as the potential clash between the U.S. Navy and China looms ever closer. The U.S. Navy, equipped with cutting-edge technology and unparalleled firepower, stands ready to confront China's growing naval ambitions. Despite the fierce developments in the Chinese military, experts suggest that the United States may have the upper hand in any potential conflict.